Hi, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to create this festive Christmas concert flyer. So let's open a new document. And the first thing we're going to do is to insert the background. So I'm going to go up to Insert, Shape, click on the drop down, go down to the square. Then when your cursor changes to a cross, just click and drag out a rectangle across your page. Ensure your rectangle fills your page. And then we're going to change the colour. So double click on your shape or go to Shape Format and along to Format Pane, and this menu will appear. So on the bucket icon here refers to the fill, which is the internal blue colour, and line, which is the external line that goes around your shape. So I'm going to use a gradient fill for this particular flyer. So if we click Gradient Fill, you can see I've previously rehearsed this, so I already have my colours in here. So what you need to do is to go down to the gradient here and select a colour. So I've chosen red here, so go to this icon here, go down to colour, and then you can select from any colour here, or you can go down to more colours and you can choose from your colour wheel. Then go to the opposite side of your gradient slider, and then again go down to colour and select another colour of your choice. Once you've done that, you can move your gradient however you like. You can pick a new gradient, so you can go to Type and select Linear, and then you can select the direction of that linear gradient by selecting one of these. But for this demonstration I selected Radial. I've gone for the direction in the centre here. If you want to add some stops to this gradient slider, you can do by clicking on the plus icon here, and you can change the colour. Let's just pick something wacky, and you can see how you can change this gradient if you wish to do so. I'll just take that off by removing it with the minus icon, and there we have our background. So the next thing to do is just to add some text. So go up to Insert. I'm going to go along to Text Box, click on the drop down and select Draw Text Box. Then I'm just going to click and drag out a text box. Now if I click away from here, zoom in, you can just about see there's a white background and a black border to this text box. We need to get rid of both of those. So I'm going to select it, go to Shape Format, go to Shape Fill, click on the drop down and select No Fill. Then go to this icon here and select No Outline. Then I'm going to just click inside so my cursor's flashing and just type Festive. And now I'm going to change the colour and font of this text, so go to the Home tab, go to the font colour icon here, click on the drop down and select the colour of your choice. And I'm going to increase this font size as well by using the increase and decrease font size tools. And then I'm just going to change this to Times, and then I'm just going to decrease that text box. Now if we go back to the original poster, you can see that I've got a text box here and also a text box here with the same font. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this text box. So I can do that by going to the Home tab and selecting Copy, click Away and click Paste. Bring that down. We also need another text box for Christmas in the middle. So the other way to do it is Command or Control C, Command or Control V. Make sure the text box is selected first. And the final way is if I just hit my Alt key, you can see my cursor changes. Just click and drag and that will actually copy and paste one for you as well. So let's just change the text for these. Just double click inside. Press Command or Control A to select all of your text. And now I'm just going to type Christmas. Just drag that out. And then here we can just double click inside, Command or Control A, and just type Concert. Now for this one we need to change the font. So again, we'll just Command or Control A to select all of the font. Go to the Home tab and click on the Font tab, and we're just going to select Dover Heights. And we're going to increase that font size as well. probably to maybe 120. There we go. Just drag this out. Now, to ensure that these texts are perfectly aligned, we need to center them all within the text box. So select your text box, make sure you're on the Home tab, and go along to this center text icon here. And that will center it in your text box. I'm just going to do that for all of them. There we go. And now we want to center them all in the center of our page. So let's zoom out. Click on a text box, go to Shape Format, go along to Align, click on the drop down and select Align to Center. Do that with Christmas as well, Align to Center. But this festive one we want to fit just in this section here. So you can just move that with your mouse or your arrow keys, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to click on this one just to move it down slightly. Perfect. We go back to the original, we can also see we have a number of text down here. All of these again are made up of text boxes. So we're just going to duplicate some of those text boxes so that we can put all this text in down here. So let's grab a text box and then I'm going to hit my Alt key, click and drag. So let's see how many we need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 text boxes. So 1, that's okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So the first one says Christmas Eve. So we're just going to type Christmas Eve. The great thing about doing these is that you can change them and alter the text inside, but if you just get the main body of the text in first, then it makes life a little bit easier. Okay, we're going to make this a little bit smaller because it's huge. Command or Control A to select all the text, go to the Home tab, and I'm just going to select this Reduce Text Size tool here. Just move this over. Just use these pointers at the side of your text box to just increase and decrease the size of it. There is a website at the bottom. Again, I'm just going to change the size of this, just reduce it down. Again, to make sure it's in the middle, select it, go to Shape Format, Align, Align to Center. Let's just go back. We're actually only going to need 4 of these because I'm going to duplicate one once I've done it. So I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I'm going to go back to the original. I'm going to select this text box, double click inside, Command or Control A to select all of the text. Then I'm going to copy it with Command or Control C. Then I'm going to go back to my other document, click inside here, Command or Control A, and then Command or Control V. And that's that all pasted in nicely. But obviously you can put whatever you need to in here. If it's your Christmas concert or just a Christmas poster, you can obviously select your own text. I'm just going to reduce that slightly. Now when you move these text boxes, you can see all of the text moves in accordance with the shape of your text box, which is great, really versatile. Again, I'm going to copy and paste this. Just move that over, make a duplicate. I'm going to go inside here and just change this to 2. Now, sometimes when you've clicked on a text box, you try to write inside and you can't. And that's because your cursor, when it's a cross-headed arrow, means that all you've done is select the text box. And then you can move it round, but you haven't selected the text. You need to double click inside to make sure that you're actually inside the text box to then create the text or edit the text. Okay, so now I've made these 2 boxes, I want them to line up. So I'm going to select one. I'm going to hold my Command or Control key down and select the other one. Then go to Shape Format, along to Align. And this time I'm going to align to middle. And that means that these 2 squares, or all the squares, have completely aligned to the center. Then I'm going to turn them into a group by going up to Group. I've still got them selected and I'm still on the Shape Format tab. click on the drop down and select group. Now it's a group, you can move both of these round together, but to make sure they're completely centered, go to shape format, to the align tool and down to align to center. And now that's perfectly aligned. I'm just going to move that down with my arrow keys. I'm going to make sure this one's in the center. There we go, and just move that down with my arrow keys. And then just move this one down. And now if we go back to the original, I'm just going to create this line here. So I'm going to go up to Insert, Shape, go to the square, and then just click and drag out a rectangle, but a very narrow rectangle. It's completely your choice, but that for me is okay. Oh, just squeeze that in a bit. There we go. And once again, on the Shape Format tab up here, I'm going to get rid of the outline, and the shape fill will be white. And then within the Format Shape box here, go down to the bucket icon, and we've got a solid fill, which is our white colour. And I'm just going to reduce the transparency just a little bit so it's not quite so bright. Then click away and check that you're happy. Next, I'm going to make sure this line is in the center. So again, select it, shape format, align, align to center. Just going to move that down a little bit. Now, it's quite a good idea at this stage to maybe just zoom out and zoom in. Then you can get a real feel of your poster. So once you're happy, we're just going to pop the graphics in and the pictures. So let's do this graphic behind Christmas Eve first. Let's go to Insert, Shape, and we're going to go down. We need to find this shape here, but it is in the menu a little bit further down. Here it is, this one here. And then again, click and drag. Round about there. Now once again, I'm going to go up and get rid of that outline, no outline. And again, we're going to go over to the Format Shape menu over here. Now don't forget, you can either double click on your shape to bring up this menu, or you can go to Format Pane, which is the shape within the Shape Format tab. And I'm going to go down to Gradient Fill. Now because we did the Gradient Fill before, it's pretty much done for us, and I've kept this original gradient we used for the background, so I don't need to change anything. So you can see what we've done is we've actually hidden the text. So we need to send this shape backwards. So select this shape, again on Shape Format, go to Send Backwards and just click. And just click again and just keep clicking until your Christmas Eve appears. It works a little bit like layers. So everything you add to your Word document, it will treat as a layer. So you need to just keep sending it behind the different layers until you expose the text you want. Now this text is a little bit big, so I'm going to double click inside this text box, select it all, go to the Home tab, and just reduce that text slightly. That's a little bit too much, so I'm going to enter in here 40. That's about right. I'm going to try and get this Christmas Eve into the center of my text box, which is probably about there. And I'm going to line it up with the shape behind. So select it, hold the Command or Control key down and select the shape behind. You can see they're now both selected. Go to Shape Format, go along to Align, and I'm going to select Align to Center, which will line up all these boxes. Go back up to Align and select Align to Middle, which will line up these boxes. And if you click away, you can see it's perfectly lined up. Next thing to do is to add the graphic. So for this, I'm just going to pop onto the internet and go to this website here called pixabay.com. In the search menu, I'm going to type in Red Christmas and press enter. You can use all these pictures for free, and I'm going to select this one here and then just click on free download and click what you want and just simply download it. Once you've downloaded it, go to your Insert tab at the top, go to Pictures, Picture from File, go to your downloads, and you can see I've got that picture there, and click Insert. Now, when it's inserted, you'll often get these white lines, but no picture. And that's because we've got to bring it forwards. It is there, it's just behind your background. So if I move this background out of the way, you can see there's your picture. So we've just got to bring it to the front. So all we need to do, click on it, go to Picture Format, go to Wrap Text and select In Front of Text. Let's just put the background back. And there's your picture. I'm just going to reduce the size of it. And then once again, just reduce the size a little bit more. And then just again, go to Picture Format, along to the Alignment tool and Align to Center, making sure that's perfectly lined up. Great, so let's go back to the original poster and you can see we've just added these little circles and some snowflakes. So let's add the snowflakes first. Insert, Icons, and then you can see there's huge amounts of icons that you can choose from. But if you just go to the search bar and type in snow, you can see that you have the choice of lots of different options, including this snowflake. So I'm just going to click on the snowflake and click Insert. Once again, the same thing's happened here. You can just simply right click. So now I've done the error of clicking away from it. If you move the background again, click on the snowflake, right click, Wrap Text, and then down to In Front of Text. Move that over the top. And all we're going to do is convert this to a shape. So select it, go to Graphics Format, and along to Convert to Shape. And now holding down your Shift key and hovering your mouse over the corner, we can click and drag out the snowflake. If you don't hold down your Shift key, you can see what will happen. The snowflake will alter its ratio. Let's just go back, Command or Control Z, and we're going to change the colour of this snowflake. So select it, go to Shape Format, and then go along to your Format pane bar, along to Format Shape, down to Solid Fill. Make sure you're on this bucket icon here, and then click on the drop down. I'm going to select white. I'm just going to reduce that transparency so it's not quite so obvious. Then I'm just simply going to rotate it by hovering my cursor over that top circle and just rotating it. Once I'm happy, I'm going to duplicate it again, hit the Alt key, Alt or Option key, and then click away, click back on that snowflake. Same thing, Alt or Option. One more time for that bottom corner. There we go. Now for some snowflakes, Insert, Shape, go to the circle. Just click and drag out the circle. Make sure you hold your Shift key. If you don't hold the Shift key, it will create an oval. Hit the Shift key and it will create a circle. We're going to go over to this menu again with Line and Fill. You can see here we are again with the bucket icon. We're going to fill it with a gradient fill, but this time instead of this red we're going to select white. So I'm going to click on this icon, go down to Colour and select white. Go over to the other colour, click on the colour icon again, and I'm going to go down to this deep red. Then you can see there's a little line around this circle, so I'm going to go down to Line, click on this drop down and select No Line. And now all I'm going to do is to reduce the size of this, remember holding down the Shift key, and then just Alt or Option, click and drag. And you can do this as many times as you need to, just to fill up the page at the moment, and we'll edit them in a second. Okay, so now just click and drag wherever you want them, reduce the size of them, move them. If that happens, just hit Command or Control Z and it will go back. Perfect. So once you're happy with that, you can just print it straight out if you want to, or you can save it as a PDF. Easy way to do that is to go to File, Save As, name your document, and then click on this drop down here and go down to PDF. And then just simply click Export. So I hope that's helped you today. If it has, please subscribe and have a great day.